What were the best, the worst, and the most viral Super Bowl ads yesterday? We'll have a special guest to weigh in. All that and so much more right here, right now on the News Hub. Good morning and welcome. I'm Simon Constable. Super Bowl 47 was the biggest event hosted by New Orleans in years, but it could go down in history as the Blackout Bowl. The Baltimore Ravens looked as if they were going to run away with a victory until half the stadium lights went out shortly after halftime. That put momentum in the hands of the San Francisco 49ers, who racked up 17 unanswered points in the third quarter, but it wasn't enough to stop the Ravens, who bring home their second NFL World Championship. But enough about the game. We want to discuss the commercials, and Horizon Media Senior Vice President Brad Adgate is nice enough to join us, and here he is on the set.
Hey, good morning.
A veteran of the ad industry. Who better to weigh in on some of these ads? These ads, the entire lot of them, how did you feel about overall? Was it a good crop? I know there were always instances of better ones and worse ones. Was it an average?
I'd say they were slightly above average. I mean, there's some ads that really popped, but there were some that were kind of like, okay, you know, ho-hum.
Ho-hum?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a bumper crop?
I wouldn't say so. Nothing really stood out like, say, like the Volkswagen Darth Vader ad a few years ago, and in the past we've seen some, you know, really good ads. Like, for instance, Doritos ad last year with the slingshot and the baby was pretty funny. I don't think the Doritos ad were up to that level this year.
What were the best ones?
Oh boy, well I think the Clydesdale one was very good. You know, they always do the Budweiser ad. They always do a 60-second kind of heartwarming, tugging at the heartstrings type of ad, and this year was no exception. And you know, the thing about the Super Bowl is it's family viewing. It's everybody watches it. It's a high-rated kid show.
This is the ad. Yeah. I saw this and I really like this, which, you know, it is pretty sickly sweet, but it is beautiful.
It's a lot of saccharin, but well produced, and it's 1 minute. And you know, like I said, they've you know, they introduced a lot of different beers this year, but they always stick to at least one Clydesdale ad per Super Bowl, I guess.
Yeah. Now, who doesn't like animals? I mean, that's the question. I mean, so anyway, there was also the senior prom ad, and we've all been in that moment, even if we haven't been to a senior prom. The Audi ad. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the Audi ad was again a 60-second ad, which a lot of them were. And you know, one of the things I think, you go back to family viewing. If you ask a teen, or if you ask any person, what's the two most important events in a teen's life? It's getting your driver's license and going to your senior prom, and this was a little bit of both. You know, the guy has his driver's license and he's going to the senior prom, so everyone could relate to this.
This was reminiscent to me of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, in so many ways. This is a great ad. This is, of course, everyone's fantasy, and you never really get over it, do you? We got to see this bit. This bit is so good.
Yeah.
This is
the prom queen.
The prom queen. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
What a guy.
And there's the prom king, I guess.
Prom king, not so happy. No. There you go. Oh, we're going to miss that bit. He ends up with a black eye.
But he's happy.
He is happy. Okay, so then there's the GoDaddy commercial, which also involved kissing.
Yeah, that was a little different. You know, GoDaddy is one of those, they're not a very big advertiser. Every year they spend well over 10% of their advertising budget on these Super Bowl ads. They spent 2 of them this year. And really, I think they just want to be part of the conversation. They just want to...
There is... No, so this upset some people. I mean,
I think so, although not the man on the right. I think he was pretty happy.
He was pretty happy.
I don't know how many takes they took, but I'd keep on messing it up if I was him.
Why do you think? Do you think that was appropriate? I mean, it doesn't upset me, but did you think that was an appropriate ad?
No, I don't think it was for general audience. You know, and I think that's their point. They don't care. The fact is that we're talking about this now is something that they want. I mean, I was walking over here, and that guy was on the Today Show at Rockefeller Center, you know, talking to Donnie
Asking
Deutsch.
for a retake, do you think?
Not with him. I hope not. But you know, again, that's part of the buzz. That's part of like the earned media that they get in shelling out the $3.8 million for a 30-second ad the Super Bowl charges.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
So Oreo, who made those brown and white biscuits, they were very ingenious, weren't they, when the lights went out?
Yeah, they were. I mean, this is the first time in the Super Bowl, and their ad was pretty funny about library and a bullhorn. The cops come in, bullhorn, and he whispers because we're in a library. But once the lights went out in 35 minutes, they put an ad that on Twitter that just said, you know, you can dunk in the dark, and they had a glass of milk and an Oreo cookie, and you can, and you know, the point was, and they got out relatively quickly. There were a few others that did that.
Is that the? I mean, you've you've been in the ad business a long time. Is that the way things are going? Is that you
Oh,
have
yeah.
to be like quick and say, okay, there's an opportunity here. It's a short opportunity. It's a window. We're going to go in.
Yeah, and I think because it's the Super Bowl and because there was something like 23 million Twitter comments throughout the whole game, you know, you want to be part of that conversation. I mean, I don't think there's nothing like the Super Bowl in this country. So it was not only an opportunity to kind of go in there and use social media, but to use it and get something very clever and get a huge push or feedback from viewers of the game.
No, Tide detergent,
Yeah.
which I've used once or twice, once a year whether I need to or not. They did some stuff too. What did they do?
Well, they did. They actually were also on Twitter during the blackout and says, you know, we can get stains out, but we can't get, you know, blackouts out. So that was one of the use of Twitter with social media. But they also did, you know, it's a Procter & Gamble ad, and they had some iconic feature Joe Montana on a jersey, and the wife is a Ravens fan, and took the stain out after they had all these people coming like it was, you know, the Shrine to Turin or something. Where it was a shroud of Turin west.
So of all of those that we've seen, which was your favorite?
Well, I did like the Audi. I did like the Oreo. I did like the Clydes. I thought Taco Bell had a pretty funny ad with all these geriatrics doing things that teenagers would do, getting tattoos and raising hell and sneaking out of a nursing home. I thought that was funny. You know, I think most of the car ads were pretty good. You know, the Chrysler had another Oprah talk over, you know, with the troops. You know, Dodge Ram had an homage to farmers. Again, you know, we're seeing in the Super Bowl, particularly with car makers, a lot longer ads. You know, about 5% of ads on television are 60 seconds or longer. In the Super Bowl, it's about 20%.
And that was, I mean, the Audi ad was great. I mean, that's
yeah,
it just really hits a lot of buttons. It's great stuff.
Yeah,
Thanks for
yeah.
being here, Brad.
Oh, thank you very much.
Veteran ad man. We appreciate your time today. So how did these Super Bowl commercials rate with you, Wall Street Journal readers? Check out all the likes and dislikes on a Super Bowl ad page on WSJ.com and see if you agree.